President who wishes to address City Council on any of these items, and they do so at this time. Once again, is there anyone present who wishes to address City Council on the fiscal year 2012 municipal budget, sewer utility budget, and capital budget, and they do so at this time? Seeing none, close the portion needed. New business.
Authorize city clerk to read the fiscal year 2012 municipal budget by title. Adopt the fiscal year 2012 municipal budget in the amount of $213,303,243.45. The fiscal year 2012 sewer utility budget in the amount of $19,500,000. And the fiscal year 2012 capital budget in the amount of $34,851,900.
Heard a reading of the resolutions. What is your pleasure?
Move the resolutions for a vote.
Moved and seconded. Comments?
Mr. President, if I may.
Councilman Grove.
I just wanted to make a few comments. Number one, in this time of the economy that we're going through, and we've been all reading the papers, I have to commend the administration for number one, not having to lay off firemen, policemen, city employees, and if we compare big cities with big cities, the city of Elizabeth is the only city of the top 5 who did not have to lay off policemen and firemen and city employees over the last couple of years. And even though we've done that and didn't lay anybody off, the administration is presenting us with a budget that calls for no tax increase. It's just an aberration when you look at what's going on, not only in the state of New Jersey. I mean, we read about the financial troubles that are going on in California, the massive financial troubles that are going on in Europe, and here we are, 4th largest city in the state of New Jersey, and we don't lay anybody off, and we could present the budget that's not going to call for any tax increase. That is to be commended, and I think the administration really deserves a commendation for that. That being said, I think we always continue to do a little better, and Tony Zangaro's not here, but I'll bring it up at our council meeting. I still think that there's more that we can do with regard to cutting on our garbage expense in our city. We should have more inspectors out there enforcing the need for people to recycle, especially in these big buildings and multi-dwelling units where they're not doing any recycling at all. And I think if we can try to encourage these property owners to do more recycling, we could further reduce our budget. As we all know, police, fire, and garbage are the 3 big expenses in our budget, and if we can reduce our garbage expense, we could further reduce our budget. Other than that, that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much for your comments, Councilman Grove. Anyone else wishes to address comments? Councilman Mazza.
I do echo the sentiment of the first ward councilman to a 75%. There's still another 25% I probably disagree with what's happening with this budget. Personally, could be done more. I know there was a great amount of police officers and firemen who actually retire or they were forced to be retired. And I'm wondering what happened, all the money that we saved by the retirement of all those people, what is going to benefit in the month of July or in a month when we get in the month of July with the remaining budget, what the tax is going to be or how much additional $1 million, because in revising this budget or adopting this budget tonight with the amendment, there's been going up and down in different areas of losing somewhere, gaining someplace, and at the end, we will know until the month of July forthcoming. So.
Thank you very much for your comments, Councilman Mazza. Councilwoman Patricia Perkins. This is an open meeting. Comment. Oh, okay. Thank you.
I just want to remind my colleagues that the police and fire who voluntarily retired was because of changes that our governor put forth in the pension program. So they basically left because they did not want their pension to be rated by the new legislation that the State Assembly, Senate, and our governor forced upon uniformed personnel up and down the state of New Jersey. It was not the doing of our administration that encouraged those men and women to retire. It was the workings of the Republican governor that now sits in Trenton. So I just wanted to, remind us of why those police and firemen left. It was because of legislation regarding pension reform. I mean, that drove them out. Men and women who worked 20, 30, 40 years was looking at losing almost 1/3 to 2/3 of their pension based on changes by our government. That's all.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Other comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perkins Dusty.
Aye.
Councilman Questa.
Aye.
Councilman Jacobs.
Aye.
Councilman Grover.
Aye.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilman Ballman.
Aye.
Councilman Mazza.
No?
I just prefer, just on the budget, not to read by title, right?
Yeah, on the budget.
Okay. President Keenan.
Aye, resolution's passed. Motion to adjourn. We'll reconvene in about 8 minutes for our regular conference meeting. Thank you.
Councilman Ballman.
Here.
Councilman Mazza.
Here.
President Keenan.
Here, this is a regular conference that the City Council has incorporated in the annual meetings notice in 2011, which was filed in the City Clerk's office and posted in the newspaper on December 28, 2010, and sent to the Star Ledger and Home News Tribune in compliance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law of New Jersey. Public speaking. Is there anyone present who wishes to address City Council on any matter? You may do so at this time. You wish to address City Council on any issue?
We have a, I guess, a pre-meeting reading, I guess, to request for a right-of-way agreement within the town.
I'd like to recognize Councilman Tadema.
Thank
You get 3 minutes.
No, but he's...
Yeah, I'm looking to
Hold on,
see
hold
there
on.
is a
Sedera
right-of-way
Networks?
agreement. Sedera?
Sedera
Yes.
Networks, yeah?
Yeah.
It's
It's
on
fine.
for tonight.
Okay.
It's on to see he gets an opportunity to address City Council.
Yeah, he can address city council now.
I think that's what we're supposed to do, right? Have a request, and then it goes to 2 meetings, or 2 readings after that? Is what
Yeah,
I'm supposed to-
I think our preference would be if you'd like to address City Council on this issue, that you can do so now.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
So you just want to give us...
You're just asking, you have a statement to make.
Not requesting to place fiber within the city boundaries.
You're on the agenda already,
Okay.
but you may or may not, you don't ordinarily have an opportunity to speak during the course of the meeting.
Oh, okay.
So if, in addition to the fact that your request is on the agenda, if you'd like to make some additional comments, you can do so now.
Yeah, I don't think there's any...
You don't wish to do that?
Yeah. I don't-
Okay. Is there anyone else present who wishes to address City Council on any matter whatsoever? They may do so at this now. Once again, anyone present who wishes to address City Council on any matter, they may do so at this now. At this time, seeing none, close that portion of the meeting.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Letter dated November 18, 2011, from the Business Administrator recommending awarding a contract to Language Line Services, Inc., Dallas, Texas, for telephone interpreter service for the Police Department and the Municipal Court Division for the period November 1, 2011 through October 31, 2012, at a cost not to exceed $50,000.
Comments? Put it up, please.
Letter dated November 21, 2011, from the Business Administrator recommending awarding a contract to Avaya, Inc., Newtown, Pennsylvania, for the purchase of telecommunications wired for various departments for the period of November 1, 2011 through January 31, 2012, at a cost not to exceed $70,000.
Comments? Put it up, please.
Letter dated November 21st, 2011, from the Business Administrator recommending awarding the contract to Office Solutions, Warren, New Jersey, for the purchase of telecommunications equipment wired for various departments for the period November 1, 2011 through January 31, 2012, at a cost not to exceed $50,000.
Comments?
Mr.
Councilman
President,
Grover.
I just want to make comments, I mean, not specific to this issue, but we voted on the city council months ago to put up all the cameras at the intersections for purposes of assisting our police department. Can we send a letter or do something to try to expedite the functioning of these cameras? Because I think what's been happening is there's so many that we're putting up at the same time that they're taking a little longer to get them up and running.
Yep.
Whether we need to hire another company or something, because, they're there for a purpose.
Absolutely.
And if it's gonna take 6 or 7 months to get these things working,
Yeah.
then we
Problem.
defeat the purpose.
Tony, can you talk
Yeah.
to Bridget's Department?
My understanding is we do have a company, but they're overwhelmed, so maybe hire another company. I mean, get these things going. You bought them, they're sitting, they're mounted, we just gotta get them to work.
Thank you. Other comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated November 28, 2011, from the Business Administrator requesting authorization for proper city officials to enter into an agreement with the Assembly of God Portuguese Ministry of Elizabeth, Inc., Elizabeth, in order for the city to exercise this option to renew the present parking lot lease for the period September 1, 2011 to August 31, 2013 at the nominal consideration of $1 per year.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated November 28, 2011, from the Business Administrator recommending awarding a contract to Edmonds and Associates, Northfield, New Jersey, for software and hardware support annual software maintenance for finance, purchasing, and revenue for a period of 1 year in the amount of $33,285.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated November 28, 2011, from the Business Administrator recommending awarding a contract to Lawman Supply Company, New Jersey, Inc., Egg Harbor City, New Jersey, for riot helmets, cleaning tools, clothes, and patches for the police department for the period November 15, 2011 through April 30, 2012 at a cost not to exceed $50,000.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 1st, 2011, from the Business Administrator requesting authorization for the proper city officials to accept the 2011 Drive Silver or Get Pulled Over year-end crackdown grant sponsored by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety to enhance safety on the roads during the holiday season from December 5th, 2011 to January 2nd, 2012 in the amount of $5,000 and to use sample resolution provided by the state of New Jersey.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 1st, 2011 from the Business Administrator recommending awarding the contract to Independence Constructors, Bridgewater, New Jersey, for cleaning inspections, monitoring of oil, water separators, and above and underground tanks at various locations in Department of Environmental Protection compliance for the period December 1, 2011 through May 31, 2012 at a cost not to exceed $50,000.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 5th, 2011 from the Business Administrator recommending awarding a contract to Dynamic Imaging Systems, Inc., Marlton, New Jersey, for a facial recognition system in the total amount of $88,143.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 5th, 2011 from the Business Administrator requesting to amend the resolution adopted on October 9, 2011 with the Chubb Group of Companies through the agent of record, Otterstedt Insurance Agency, for property insurance covering all city-owned properties in the original amount of $88,886 for an increase of insurance premium at an additional cost of $9,880 for this year due to the city having to update values on its property, thereby raising the total yearly premium to $98,776.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 5th, 2011 from the Business Administrator requesting authorization for the proper city officials to apply and accept a grant award for the Healthcare Innovation Challenge through the Center on Medicare and Medicaid Innovation to participate with Trinitas Regional Medical Center and other partners to develop innovative ways to implement better health and improve care while lowering costs for people enrolled in Medicare, Medicaid, and children's health insurance programs.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 5th, 2011, from the Business Administrator advising being satisfied that an emergency did exist, recommends the award of a contract to Big Top Contractors, Avenel, New Jersey, for the demolition of 1115 Magnolia Avenue in the amount of $23,000.
Comments?
Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 5th, 2011, from the business administrator requesting that city council reject all bids received on November 16, 2011 for the fiscal year 12 emergency medical services, Seaburn Decon support vehicle, and authorize the purchasing agent to re-advertise with substantially revised specifications.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated November 29, 2011, from the city attorney requesting that city council consider introducing an ordinance to execute a sewer easement agreement with AJL Elizabeth LLC, Union, New Jersey, on tax account number 5-366. It runs between Elizabeth Avenue and First Avenue.
Comments?
I have
Councilman Grover.
one question. Mr. Gingaro, I was not part of the planning board meeting or zoning board meeting when we approved the 7-Eleven to be constructed on the site. Could you find out what, if anything, was discussed regarding hours of operation? If there was any restrictions put on it?
And what would be your preference?
I
Okay, you just want to know.
I want to know.
Thank you, Councilman. Other comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 5th, 2011, from the Second Assistant City Attorney on behalf of Sedera Network LLC, New York, New York, requesting permission to enter into the public right-of-way and authorization for the proper city officials to enter into a right-of-entry agreement so that it may locate, place, attach, install, operate, and maintain facilities within municipal right-of-ways within the city of Elizabeth.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Where is this going to be?
I don't know. You tell me, you know?
Yeah, well, there's a small map that was attached, I guess, to the original application that's going down, briefly,
Yeah.
like Newark Avenue.
Chestnut Street, up Jefferson Avenue, across Newark Avenue.
Yeah, it's a film, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say is that I remember them, there was a fiber optic job done years ago throughout our streets,
Yeah.
and we ended up getting those cuts up and down all these newly paved streets.
Right.
And
Remember
then
that.
3 years later, everything sank and we got these scrubbers. So I don't think I can suggest,
The majority of this is, not the majority of this is up on the utility poles. We're just, the only
there's going to be
time,
some on the street, correct?
yeah, the area where we're tying up to the railroad, where their existing backbone is located now.
My only suggestion is that, Tony, if you can,
Yeah.
make sure that they hold enough of a bond from the developer, because, and they should hold it for 2 or 3 years, not just 6 months. Because when these things, when the paving starts sinking, we look around, everybody's gone.
Right. I remember that. Thank you. Other comments? Put it on.
Letter dated November 15, 2011, from the Chief Financial Officer, requesting authorization for the tax collector to cancel refund credit and overbilling of taxes for 2011 tax year on the property located at 178-184 First Street, in the total sum of $15,648.39.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 2nd.
I'm sorry.
Councilman Grover?
When is this going to start, Tony? I'm sorry. The assessment on the Presbyterian Center.
CO dated June 10th for 2011.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. This is actually an overbilling. Okay, I'm sorry.
Next item?
Letter dated December 2nd, 2011, from the Chief Financial Officer requesting authorization for the tax collector to refund credit and overbilling of the 2011 tax year on the property located at 543-547 Westminster Avenue in the amount of $6,970.07.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 6, 2011, from the Chief Financial Officer advising that additional grants may be appropriated in the 2012 state fiscal year budget by budget amendments, Chapter 159.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 6, 2011, from the Chief Financial Officer, requesting authorization to submit an application to the local finance board to participate in the New Jersey Environmental Trust 2012 financing program to finance the Midtown Infrastructure Project in an amount not to exceed $5.2 million.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 6, 2011, from the Chief Financial Officer recommending that the City Council request the Director of the Division of Local Finance to make the following estimated corrections in the 2012 municipal budget to account for the city's share of grants, Chapter 159s, approved subsequent to the adopted budget. Matching funds, city share from $992,050 to $867,050. Local share, Kids Recreation Trust 2011, from $0 to $125,000.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated November 28, 2011, from the Director of Health and Human Services requesting permission to enter into an agreement with the University Hospital Lattimore practice at UMDNJ to provide diagnosis, treatment, monitoring, case management, and field services for residents of Elizabeth with confirmed or suspect tuberculosis disease for the period January 1, 2012 through December 31st, 2012, in an amount not to exceed $33,648.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated November 21st, 2011, from the Director of Planning and Community Development, requesting authorization for the proper city officials to execute any and all documents necessary and appropriate to partially discharge the city's mortgage with Waters Edge LLC to construct 6 units of for sale housing on the property located at 70B Magnolia Avenue, Elizabeth. This is the 5th unit that has been sold.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated November 22nd, 2011, from the Director of Planning and Community Development, requesting to extend the lease agreement with the Board of Education for the Center for Infant Development, 630 South Street, Elizabeth, to September 30th, 2013, at a cost of $1 per year.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated November 30, 2011, from the Director of Planning and Community Development, requesting authorization for the proper city officials to rescind the resolution dated February 23, 2010, for an owner-occupied deferred payment loan on the property located at 1343 Fremont Place. Applicant is now ineligible for program assistance.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 2nd, 2011, from the Director of Planning and Community Development, requesting to amend the resolution dated September 27, 2011, with Union County College for an urban enterprise zone proposal for zone assistance funds to implement Phase 4 of the Customer Service Skills Training Initiative Program in the amount of $297,900, specifically to include the certificate of availability of funds.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated November 21st, 2011, from the Director of Public Works, requesting permission to have liens placed against properties listed on Schedule A for the removal and disposal of debris from said properties in the amount of $4,331.71.
Comments?
Mr.
Councilman
President,
Grover.
I brought this up a couple of months back, and I don't know if you were able to follow up. When I was down in the Atlantic City, I participated in a seminar regarding abandoned property, and one of the speakers mentioned that down in Trenton, they have an ordinance where they do not give the full 10-day requirement for people to clean, especially when they're repeat offenders. I don't know if Yolanda were able to get a copy of that ordinance.
No, they didn't send it yet.
Can we try to get that, because I don't know how they're allowed to do it when,
Okay.
we're not allowed to. Supposing there's a way to.
Yeah, it's gotta be a way to speed it up, because they're taking advantage.
Especially repeat offender.
Repeat offenders, yes.
Thank you. Other comments?
No, I'm just saying, exactly.
Thank you. Put that on, please.
Letter dated December 2nd, 2011, from the Director of Public Works, recommending awarding a contract to Suburban Consulting Engineers, Inc., Mount Arlington, New Jersey, to provide professional engineering services in connection with the conceptual design of the Holland Playground and Skate Park facility at a cost not to exceed $13,500.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 5th, 2011, from the Director of Public Works requesting authorization for the renewal of the 5th year of the 5-year contract with Regional Industries LLC, Elizabeth, for a 1-year period commencing January 1, 2012 to December 31st, 2012 at a cost of $3,950,000.
Comments?
I'm going to bring this up now that Tony's here. Tony, one of the things that I brought up at our budget meeting is that even though the budget doesn't call for an increase, we can still do better. And one of the things that I just realized, probably knew about it but didn't realize it as much, we pick up the Board of Education's building garbage also. They're one of the biggest violators of the recycling. There is just empty cans.
Yeah, we had, Councilman Jackson brought that up at one of our meetings. And then Councilwoman...
But I think that one of the reasons why I bring that up is because there's not enough effort made by Pat Bella and his crew in enforcing recycling, especially these big buildings. And I think there, if we need to hire more guys to do it, it's been proven that we've hired guys to do sanitary inspection and they've paid for themselves 3 times over. But the reality is, we've got to cut down our garbage tipping fees, and the only way you're going to do it is by reducing the amount of garbage that's going into the facilities.
As we mentioned in a couple of meetings ago, we're scheduled to have a meeting, joint meeting with the Board of Ed to fulfill our best practices, a requirement that'll probably be held in either January or February, March, possibly. And that'll be one of our primary topics to bring that up.
The housing authority, the same thing?
Housing authority, right.
I think what Councilman Grova and Councilwoman and what Councilman Jackson are saying is, let's not wait for them.
Yeah.
Let's be proactive and do something on our own.
Yeah, internally we're being proactive.
I thought the recycling coordinator was supposed to come here, I guess this is about 4 months ago, to let us, our recycling coordinator, when I brought this up maybe about 4 to 6 months ago, he was supposed to have been reaching out to the Board of Ed, letting us know what he was doing regarding this issue. I mean, this is like a dead issue.
Well, we're going to resurrect it.
Okay. Well, Councilwoman, you want to invite Pat Bella to come to attend one of our meetings, please?
Yeah, I'll mention it to the director.
And not only that, I've been talking about some of these large apartment buildings who just put their garbage out. Just, I guess everything I say just gets vaporized and really doesn't get worked on, because I've been constantly talking about the large apartment buildings who send their garbage out in those black bags and we don't know what's in them and nothing is being recycled. Or if you ride all up and down North Avenue, you see them. That's a lot of money in the trash.
Councilman Joe.
Yeah, Mr. President, I don't know if Pat Bella is the person that we should be talking about here right now. I do believe that the man does a good job in what he does, and I don't think we here at City Council should be pointing a finger at any city employee and mentioning their names. I will say this to you though, about 18 years ago, I went to a League of Municipality convention class, and one of the towns out in the western part of our state, and I brought this up a number of times, they incorporated the group of men and women who clean our streets. I guess they're I forgot it then, and I forgot the term of the group now. They're county prisoners. They go out, the SLAP prisoners. They go out and they clean our streets. They know exactly where the streets are dirty. They know exactly where there's recycling problems. They know exactly where the problems occur. And it was a county out in the western part of the state that hired or paid these slap workers, gave them ticket books, and actually had them walk down the streets as they were sweeping and issue summonses to those people who were violating the law. Now, I had Rocco DiPaolo research this about 18 years ago, and he sent back a legal opinion stating that it was legal to do here. Just so happens, unfortunately, we have unions, and we need to be very careful on how we handle that kind of situation. But not only was it for that, but it was also to clean the embankments of our railroad areas, where the high weeds go and the garbage piles up and it's unsightly as you're coming in to North Avenue and as you're coming in West Jersey Street, all of these areas, we could use those workers there too. But unfortunately, we don't choose to do that. So maybe the Director of Public Works can look at that and institute a program where we can use slap workers to issue fines to the big apartment buildings where we're having these problems, and we go from there.
Tony, could you talk to John about that?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
And I don't see why, and I've brought this up many, many times, I don't see why we allow the Elizabeth Board of Education to continue to not recycle. They use this kind of paper all day long in the classroom. They have milk cartons. None of it's being recycled. It's all being tossed into a black garbage bag, which is inside a gray garbage container, and nothing is done. Nothing is recycled.
If you could mention to John also,
Oh, yeah.
concern of council that at least on a spot basis, an inspector could be looking at some of those trash bags. Councilman Mazza?
Yeah, not to be in defense of the Board of Education, Eddie, you well know that I am the advisor of Key Club, and I could tell you that every Friday, the recycle people, they come and they pick up 1, 2, 3, 4 huge bins of paper, recyclable, and cardboard at Elizabeth High School, okay? And we've been doing that for so many years.
Frank, I worked there for 33 years.
I know.
Let me tell you something right now.
Go ahead.
The cardboard goes in those big bins. This paper does not go in these bins. These papers go in small garbage bags in a green garbage can, which gets picked up by a custodian. It goes into a bigger garbage bag that's in a gray garbage can, and it gets dumped into the regular garbage.
Well, just to finish, the last time we mentioned about to get in touch with the Board of Education, Tony, I think you were assigned to meet with Richard Kennedy many months ago, when Perkin mentioned and even when Mr. Jackets mentioned, and because this will bring points to the city of Elizabeth, if we keep delaying this meeting with Mr. Kennedy, eventually the recycling, which I strongly agree with the first ward councilman that we could do more. I have pitched, and I have happened to take landlords before the Board of Health Department, Mr. Michael Machakowski, and etc. from the Health Department, which I forced them to come up with 20 garbage cans with covers on the top. After 1 week, 20 garbage cans went down to 5 because people were stealing it. And yesterday, I got complaints and I got pictures, and I called the landlord wherever he was living. Listen, I don't want no rats, no dogs, no birds. There were about 300 birds on the top of the garbage can because some tenants from the third floor happened to throw the garbage can into the backyard. The neighbors next to it, they came to me, and I just showed you some pictures, right, Councilman?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of things that we must do. It's easy to say, well, we could generate money, but we must educate even the tenants. Each landlord must be responsible, proper supervisor in their building, because if they are absent landlord, that's where you have to hit those people big time. And when they got to come up for capital improvement or improvement in a building, they should be denied because they're not a good landlord. So it works in both ways. I agree with you guys, we could raise more money because, you know, it's a lot of money we pay for our garbage, but we could say more. We have to educate the people, and you have to start calling this meeting with Mr. Kennedy whenever you're going to speak to him.
Yeah, I tried to schedule a meeting for December. I set a date. Mid-December, no response from the Board of Ed yet. We have to get something in the next couple of months to fulfill the best practices for both the Board of Ed and...
Right, that's important.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Questa.
Yeah, very briefly, just to say that I agree completely with Councilman Jacobs. He mentioned 33 years, well, in my case, 34 years. But, you know...
How many years as a student before that?
Oh, yeah.
You remember the green cards? You guys remember shooting baskets?
I sure do. I sure do.
I
But
remember when you were
Mr.
young, without the beard, I remember
Yes,
that?
Mr. Zangaro said that no response from Mr. Kennedy, and I'm not surprised. Now, it happened recently again, Mr. President, where the board had a meeting,
Right.
and they did not inform us 48 hours in advance.
Right.
When is that going to stop?
Right.
I think, Yolanda, what I'd like to do is, every time that happens, we're going to forward another letter. I would imagine that we did send a letter recommending a while ago, right? Did we
Well,
do
I
that?
received, from the law department, I did receive information regarding it.
Regarding that matter.
Regarding, yeah.
But they still don't notify us in a timely fashion.
48 hours.
Right, but they still let us know at the last minute.
Well, the last meeting, no, I was notified the same day as the meeting.
This is what I mean.
Which is not...
And Mr. Kennedy is not even responding to Tony's request for a meeting, so
Public meeting.
what are we talking about here? You know, it's,
Are there any consequences for them violating the provisions of the Open Public Meeting?
There may be, but
Yes,
very...
they are.
Those meetings were posted on the website and the Star Ledger
but
some
they're-
time
they're
ago for the
required-
entire
They're
year.
required by law to, that the city
Right.
clerk.
I think the city clerk...
Special meeting.
Letter to the board
Special meeting.
asking that they comply.
Yeah, yes, I will.
will.
Because
Okay.
George sent me the information.
I know.
Oh,
Okay, so now that the city clerk's got the information, that letter will go out. Councilwoman?
Just one thing, Mr. President, I'm hearing from Mrs. Guerra that the board secretary is not responding to his request to have a meeting so that we can fulfill our best practices
Right.
for working together. Can we do a resolution so that at least we have it on record that we have been trying to
Right.
reach out and they have been in non-compliance
Right.
and non-cooperative?
So
regarding
would that help us with the state?
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
just, at least it'll be duly noted, you know, that we are trying to do
Right.
this, and it's regarding recycling or whatever issue we want to put in there, to save money for the taxpayers of the city of Elizabeth and the state of New Jersey.
Yeah, I'd just like to note, though, that I have an excellent working relationship with Bud Kennedy, the BA of the Board of Ed. It might not be his decision. I think they have to go to the commissioners to get the okay to set up
So
this
then who
meeting.
would we send a letter, who would we address it to, the commissioners?
Well, I'll send it to the BA and just advise that, you know, we have to set up this
Tony,
meeting.
the question is,
Yeah.
so that the city does not become
Yes.
penalized
Right, that's
for
right.
non-cooperation with the Board of Ed, what can we do?
We need to send some type of written
To-
communication?
Yeah, have a trail of emails.
No,
So
that's not
fine.
proper. We need to send something from council, because we're the ones who've been requesting this since, it's been 4 or 5 months now.
I would
It's not, it's
suggest,
not longer.
since it's coming from council, it should go to the president of the board.
Yeah, let's do it.
From council to the board.
Yeah.
To the governing body. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we have to do
So
something. We just
this will be
can't,
a letter or resolution?
I think it should be by resolution.
Guys? Letter or resolution?
It can be, a letter can go from the city clerk on behalf of council,
I
or
think by
council
resolution.
wants to,
That-
they can adopt a resolution.
Yeah, that's how they do things, to the other governing body, because they can't just not ignore that we're trying to save money for these taxpayers in this entire city. This is unbelievable.
You want to put a resolution on?
A resolution or a letter?
My resolution.
Consensus?
I agree on the resolution.
Resolution?
Yes.
Okay, now, can we put it on now, or do we?
No, it's not.
You
No,
can't have
wait.
it ready for next week?
Oh, it'll be ready for
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah, we can't vote on it
That's
tonight.
what-
Yeah.
No,
no.
put it on. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're going to put on the agenda for next week, a resolution to the Board of Education.
Thank you, Mr. President.
No, thank you. Other comments? Councilman Sedano.
On a different note, I received some complaints from some of the neighbors, like from Sheridan Avenue area, where Regional was picking up garbage as early as 3:45 in the morning. And I think, according to the contract, I'm trying to remember the time.
6:30.
Yeah, it's 6 or 6:30. So I want to know if we could send an official letter like to regional just to make sure they comply with that. Because I know it's happened in the past. It happened about 1.5 years ago, and it stopped. They started complying, but they're starting it again.
Okay.
I guess they're trying to get a head start in the garbage pickup. But if we could also send a letter to them, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Other comments? Put it on. I forget which one we're putting on.
That was the regional contract.
It's a long time ago.
The resolution.
Next.
And I got no letter.
Yeah, we'll get some money, right?
Look, William,
In with regard to the garbage.
oh, he's gonna check that out.
Tony, can you
I'm
look
sorry.
into Councilman Cedeno's?
Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely.
And we'll follow up. No, sir, you don't get
Thank
it.
you.
That's why I offered you the opportunity at the beginning of the meeting.
I just wonder if you need us anymore.
No.
No.
Okay.
I just wanted, thank you.
Sorry. Next
Okay.
thing.
Letter dated December 2nd, 2011, from the Fire Director requesting authorization for the proper city officials to accept and sign all appropriate documents for the Memorandum of Understanding between the Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness Urban Area Security Initiative Working Group and the Elizabeth Fire Department Emergency Medical Service Division for the acceptance, utilization, and coordinated efforts of a 2012 Ford F-450 4x4 utility body snow plow pickup truck, also known as the Mass Casualty Response Unit, to support emergency medical service operations.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated December 2nd, 2011, from the Fire Director requesting authorization for the proper city officials to accept and sign all appropriate documents for the Memorandum of Understanding between the Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness Urban Area Security Initiative Working Group and the Elizabeth Fire Department Emergency Medical Service Division for the acceptance, utilization, and coordinated efforts of a 2012 Freightliner medical ambulance bus to support emergency medical service operations.
Comments? Put it on, please.
Letter dated November 8, 2011, from Mr. German Romero Quinones, President on behalf of Club Valley 2010 Court Elizabeth, requesting that your honorable body consider waiving the facility fee for the use of the recreation center in which Club Valley can have soccer practice during the fall and winter months.
Comments?
I have a comment. I can tell you that there's so many organizations out there. If we start doing this,
Can't do it.
I'd like to know what Paul Vesta's recommendation is.
I think Councilman, I think the fees are probably established by ordinance.
Right.
So we can't waive, unless there's a provision that council can do it in the ordinance, and I don't believe there is.
So we just don't put this on the agenda?
No, he's right. If you're not going to waive.
No, we're not going to waive this.
Is
Other
it
comments?
by ordinance, the fees?
Yeah. Ray said that
I don't believe that there's
Well, I
separate.
didn't know we charged the fee.
But I thought we don't charge kids.
Right, that's what I thought.
Can you check, Mr. Zagawa, before we
Okay.
totally, I thought those fees were waived for kid programs.
Yeah, it's for kids, age 5 to 15.
So the question becomes, how did he apply for the, did he say it was for the 5 to 15-year-old kids, or did he apply for it as something different? Maybe that's where,
I think if it's for children, we need to waive it.
yeah, I agree with you.
Well,
I think
why
we
don't
should
we,
make
why don't we
the
ask
adults
the law
pay.
department to look into whether or not.
I think we waived them for the kids. But the other question I have on this, and if we're gonna look into this, is who are these kids? Where are these kids coming from?
Right.
There has to be Elizabeth too.
Because the guy might live here. Everybody's listed as living on one house. It seems.
Yes, 120, you're right.
You got like 5 families living in one place. Okay.
Only that is the case.
So the question then becomes, well, where are the kids from?
Exactly. Okay, we're going to refer this to the law department for further investigation.
Do a little research.
And I'll check with recreation
Thank you.
also.
It's still Elizabeth.
Where are they going to be? What facility are they going to be? Where are they going to play?
They may not be in the space.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
So they can afford it.
Okay. Councilman Cedeno has requested a handicap for 1448 Lexington Place be removed from code. Put on. Councilman Ballman has requested a handicap be put on for 876 Bond Street. And Councilman Mazza has requested a handicap be put on for 549 Third Avenue.
Put it on.
Okay.
Can you add one more, 401 Easter, 401 Livingston Street?
401 Livingston.
There was one up, somebody took the sign down. I think it was stolen. If you could have John just put it back up.
Okay.
It's in front of the
So
church.
it's a replacement.
In front of the church there on the corner. Reverend Hall's church. He called me on Sunday. Nobody was working Sunday.
Okay.
Anything else?
Okay, yes. Announcements have been received in different departments in the building of retirements. And it has been requested that your honorable body consider giving commendations for Ms. Helene Scherer from the Human Rights Commission and Mr. Robert Kroon.
Yep.
Okay?
Those are the only guys that retired? Seems like so many
Those are
people.
the only announcements that we got in this.
No problem.
Okay, now, another item. Also, January 1 falls on a Sunday this year for the organization meeting, okay? So, would your honorable body consider to have the organization meeting on Tuesday instead of the Monday following the Sunday, since our regular conference is going to be held on that Tuesday? And it can be held shortly after the organization meeting.
Knock it all one day.
Yeah, do it all in one day, that makes sense.
Okay, so the consensus is?
Yep.
okay.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Daytime or nighttime?
What time of the day?
Well, the organization meeting starts at noon. We usually finish up around
That means that
1:30
that's in the middle of a workday though.
Hmm?
That's the middle of a workday.
Yeah. So we're thinking.
Doesn't affect these
maybe
retired guys, but
3 or 4. 3 or 4, somewhere around in there.
And then we would have the regular meeting earlier
Right,
that day.
like shortly after the,
Shortly
since
after the-
everyone would be here.
Yeah.
And that's a Tuesday?
Tuesday. Yeah. So we do the organization meeting and our regular meeting the same day, within a few hours.
but I don't know about the rest of everybody, but I would suggest if possible maybe do 3, 4 o'clock, 3:30.
3 or 4?
Yeah.
I would
We
even
could
say,
push for,
yeah, like 4, even 5 maybe. I just don't know how it's going to affect those that are working. Like Frank, I don't know what time.
Excuse me? Yeah, right.
you probably have 400 days.
The grass is always green on the other side of the fence.
Good graces.
I'm available starting at 2:15, 2:20, the latest.
So let's do 3 o'clock. Can we do 3 o'clock?
Well, what time, what does that push the regular meeting? The reorg.
Takes an
It
hour.
will be at noon.
The reorg's gonna be at noon. That's settled.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
at noon?
I'm
The
sorry.
organization meeting's gonna be at
Eating
noon.
my lunch. will be probably-
Oh, I thought the 3 o'clock.
That's what I was talking about.
reorganization.
Why
Oh,
not?
No, the reorg's at noon.
Real has to be at
It's
noon.
gonna be
On a
at
Tuesday?
noon.
And the regular meeting was,
Then we're like at 3 or,
3 o'clock, if that's help him.
yeah.
We can push,
Or
you
you'll
can
have
push
to
the
do a Monday
regular
and a
meeting
Yeah,
back.
I'm out at 2:15.
Yeah, but you
Well,
can
how about this? How about do the reorg,
make it 3.
and then do the other meeting, you know,
At 3.
if you want.
3, 4 o'clock. So I thought, I was suggesting moving the reorg meeting.
Oh,
No.
Why don't you move to the next Sunday then? You eliminate all the problem.
no, you can't have it on a Sunday. But you have to
Why?
have it
It's
within the
Holy
first
day.
week of the
It's a
month.
holy day. Whether you believe or not, it's a holy day. Whether you believe or not, it's a
I
holy
understand,
day.
but I'm trying to remember what day, we usually meet on the first of the year,
Right.
and it's a legal holiday.
No, but
Councilman,
the
Councilman
Sunday,
Giselle?
once every leap year, so
Right.
it falls on a
It
Sunday.
has to be on at noon. It can't be at 3 p.m. the reorg, just because I just feel a couple people can't make it at.
I'm just asking that question. Is it mandatory that it's at noon?
I'll just take some.
Is
No,
it
it's not.
mandatory that it's
Show me
at
the law.
noon? I'll have to check and see. I
Show me the
didn't-
law, they have to be at 12
Don't we make
o'clock.
appointments for that?
Yeah.
Because we really can start at 3, right?
That's what I'm saying. My question is, can the reorg meeting start at 3 o'clock? That's my
In the
question.
code, but doesn't it say 12
Noon.
noon? That's what
Yeah.
I think it
The code
says.
says
Code
noon.
says noon, it's gotta be noon.
Can we vote, can we put it on the agenda to switch the time to 3 p.m.? Would that suffice, Mr.?
Well, we
Well,
gotta
we
look
have to
into
make
that, because
sure.
see, that's an ordinance.
Oh, will there be enough time to?
We're not gonna be able to change the ordinance.
No, I don't want to change the ordinance. My question is whether this honorable
If it's
body
mandatory, then.
can modify the time if it's not like set black and white shall occur at
He's
12.
saying maybe at noon.
It may be set in the code at noon, we have to check it.
If you can check, I mean, because if not, I mean, we're forced at noon, but if we can change it, I mean, it'd be a lot easier on some of us.
But the conference meeting would not have to be, that could be at some other
I'm
time.
not talking about the conference, I'm talking about the reorg meeting. We'd like to be there.
Yeah,
You
but it's a
have
requirement.
to have the reorganization meeting first.
First,
And
and then your
Yeah.
regular.
right.
Either way, it would be nice for it to be back to back, like if it's 3, then the other meeting like at
I mean,
5.
I just say that if it can be be done, if it
Okay.
can,
All right, I'll check and see if it can.
I'd like to be present.
Yes, me too.
Well, when do we have, what's the timeline on this to make a decision?
Yeah.
We have time?
What do you feel is rearrange the work schedule?
For the resolution, we have to do a resolution.
Well,
Well, we already done.
There's no living there.
Does that require?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
We don't need a resolution.
You generate too much copy, that's what we want. You see, you have an extra one.
No, I said we have 2.
But that.
Want to check out that?
No, we have 2 on this side.
Well, a resolution, we don't need, it's adopted at that meeting, so it's not like an ordinance.
I understand, but it's got to be adopted next week.
Do they have an exception?
It's got to be adopted
So
in the
prior
Bible.
to the meeting, right.
Sunday, I know we definitely can't.
But wait a second, suppose every 100 years, let's say, whatever. And a bylaw that they're talking about, does it say that you can have that on
Put a
Sunday?
reso one for this
For this
Tuesday.
meeting, or we have the next one.
I'd like to see whatever determination the attorney makes, I'd like to see the copy of the law, please. Seriously,
Black and white?
in black and white.
You're asking to.
I'm seriously.
Reorg meeting. And then.
Put that on record.
It would be like in the afternoon.
Could be a lawsuit.
We'll have to send down
Seriously.
a special meeting notice, changing the time
See which way we go.
7:30 to
Fine,
whatever
seriously, I mean, you know,
time.
give me a Sunday, but
I
I thought on
think
Sunday,
that-
meanwhile.
Why don't we do this? There are 2 separate issues. One is the evening meeting, or the afternoon meeting, whatever. That time doesn't need to be locked in because it's just a matter of.
That time, any time after 4 o'clock is fine.
After 4 for you?
However, with the reorg meeting, if the board meeting, but if there's some flexibility,
Yeah, we can.
we can
Try to push it back to 3, that would be the suggestion. Push it back to 3.
The organization meeting?
Yes.
All right.
If it can be done.
Okay.
But
If it
what I-
can't be done, then you gotta do it at
Yeah,
home.
what I'd like to do is put it on for noon,
Right.
in the event that it can't be changed.
Right, I
So that we're set.
Right.
But if it can be changed, we've got some flexibility.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Agreed.
Okay, very good. All right?
January 3. Okay, now we have to go into closed session.
Motion to go in closed session. Second is roll call.
Councilwoman Perkins Augustine?
Just so we're going into closed session to discuss a matter involving
Okay.
attorney-client privilege and litigation.
With the bills.
Councilwoman Perkins Augustine? Councilman Questa?
Aye.
Councilman Jacques?
Aye.
Councilman Grover?
Aye.
Councilman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Sedano?
Aye.
Councilman Gorman.
Aye.
Councilman Mazza.
Aye.
President King.
Aye. We're in closed session. We'll be back in a few minutes. We'll come out and get.
Well, can we get a copy of that tape in time? Are we entitled to a copy?
I'll look into that. Councilman.
Can we look into that?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to have a copy if we can.
All right.
Thank you.
Anything else, Councilman?
That's it, thank you.
Councilman Gonzalez?
Yes, Mr. President, I have two things. When I see Mr. Crooms, our graffiti guru, is retiring, and I was talking with him because we've had some incidents where there have been homeowners, business owners, where he has not been able to make contact with them to remove graffiti. And I don't know if there's anything we can do to look at the ordinance so we can strengthen it, Ray, so that this way those owners who do not comply, who don't follow up, who don't answer to the letters, and you get the return receipts. If there's something we can do so we can then go ahead and clean it,
Okay.
you know, after, you know, due diligence in trying to contact the owner of the premises.
Similar to we do with the weed removal, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I think it's part of, I think it would fall under the same thing, the maintenance of a property.
Well, I know we have the graffiti ordinance, and we have to see what we have in that ordinance.
Yeah.
I think maintenance of the property is a catch-all. It includes litter, debris, high weeds.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with that. It could
It
be.
might fall under that, is what I'm thinking.
Thank you, Ray.
And I just want to say, I really hope that whoever replaces Mr. Crooms, even though I don't think anybody can replace him, will have the same passion that he does for removing graffiti. He's done a great job of keeping graffiti off the streets in the city of Elizabeth, and I hope we get someone who has that same passion that he had.
Absolutely.
The other thing I'd like to follow up with is several months ago, we provided the names of streets, a number of us, for the shortening of the parking distances. The state law that allows us to shorten parking distances in our neighborhoods. Have not heard anything back yet. It's been several months.
Was Bill Dugan working on that?
I believe so.
There was the
I
no parking.
submitted,
Right, that's
for the
different.
25 feet?
Yeah.
This is right.
I submitted
Right.
the information
You submitted it to the...
to the law department.
We're not shortening, correction, my colleague, we're not shortening the parking distance, we're shortening the yellow zone.
Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, from 50.
We're creating more parking.
Right, we're creating more parking.
Want to make sure we're clear.
Yeah, Mr. Holdout.
Yeah, we were looking at the no parking ordinance that we were making the change. We were also looking at that.
The city clerk says that she got the list of law department and raised on check.
Because it's been several months.
It's been a while.
That's the distances from the...
From the corner.
to the
Yes,
crosswalk.
stop signs,
As a result of that
crosswalks, and
change
things like that.
in the
Yes.
state statute.
You know, the state allows us to, the municipalities to make those kind of decisions and changes.
Okay. So Ray will follow up with
Yeah,
the city
just-
attorney.
We could get some feedback on that, please.
Thank you.
That's it, Mr. President. Thank you.
Councilman Grover.
Nothing.
Councilman Mazza.
Yeah, I'd like to find out what happened to the study that I requested. Remember, there was a speeding study on 3rd Avenue. And
Okay, you still want to...
I didn't get that. And then in September, I requested
That was what, the 3rd?
3rd and South 7, right. And then I requested a 3-way stop sign, or even with a blinking lights or whatever, on Grove and Murray Street. If you don't mind.
Three-way
Grove,
stop?
yeah. It's, Grove is one way going down, Murray goes up and down, so you need, it's 3-way stop, in order to prevent additional accidents.
Is that where there's a blinking light now there, right?
And that's where the accident knocked them down the pole. Matter of fact, I passed by there today, and they're going to be working on it eventually. On Grove and
Murray.
no, Grove and
You're talking about Vine.
That's,
Okay, so it's not Murray.
no. That's Murray. That's what I requested. September Murray.
Okay.
Grove and Vine just happened 3 days ago. Happened to pull in. There was an accident. Knocked the pole down. So I called the police, and they went there and tried to take care now.
I thought Grove and Vine, they have a blinking, but on Grove and Murray, they have a regular light.
No, that's further down. I'm sorry, what did I say? Grove? Thanks. It's Dehart and Murray, I'm sorry. Dehart
Okay.
and Murray, yeah.
Dehart.
Thank you. Yeah, because other one is a steady line.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's it.
Councilman Quasi. Manny, did you have? No. Councilman Jacobs?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like a resolution, and hopefully I get the consensus of the City Council, my colleagues, with regards to supporting this resolution. Mr. President, I guess in and around July 14th, a waiver was sent from the Elizabeth Board of Education to the the Union County Superintendent asking for a waiver of salary of our superintendent. As you all know, probably, he's making $289,000 as we speak. On November 17th, another resolution was passed with the approval of the executive Union County Superintendent, giving permission for the Elizabeth Board of Education to send the waiver, the salary waiver, to the Commissioner's Office, the state of New Jersey. It behooves me on how the Elizabeth Board of Education can not understand its fiduciary responsibilities to the taxpayers here in the city of Elizabeth, and also throughout the state of New Jersey, because it is a district in need of improvement, and it gets millions and millions of dollars worth of state and federal funds. We've all read the newspaper over the summer on how there are so many problems with bookkeeping and other things that are going on there. I'd like a resolution put on for a vote for next week denouncing this waiver. I'd like it sent to the governor of the state of New Jersey, who has put a cap on superintendent salaries. It just so happens that he has overlooked this district, evidently because of its size, which is totally $289,000 is about $115,000 more than our mayor makes. And I can't tell you how many more thousands of dollars we make over. So I would hope that my colleagues here on City Council will support me with this resolution. I would like it sent to the executive Union County Superintendent. I'd like it sent to the Commissioner of Education. I would also like it sent to the Governor of the state of New Jersey, Chris Christie. This cannot go through. This cannot happen. $289,000 is too much as it is. If there's a waiver and it's accepted by the Governor and the Commissioner, his salary is going to go up even higher. And it's all a tax burden to those in Elizabeth that are paying taxes and the state of New Jersey taxpayers. So I do hope that we'll get this on for next week, and I'll have the support of my colleagues.
Did you need some documentation from him to do a reso, or?
Well, we need some, I have some general information, just based on what Ed said, but
Sure. Yeah.
we would, you have some documentation as to,
Councilman.
Yeah, I would just would like to add.
I'm
Go ahead, go ahead.
Just for clarification, the waiver request was made but not granted yet.
I understand that.
No, I'm
That's
just
why
saying, I just want to know that.
I want this, that's why I want this
Okay.
resolution on, so that we can send it to the Governor and to the Commissioner and to the Executive Union County Superintendent, stating that it's outrageous, that we condemn this. It should not be accepted by the state or granted.
Councilman.
Yes, and also, I don't know if you can add it, but Elizabeth have, like 3 or 4 assistant superintendents? So if he's doing such an excellent job, why do we need, 3 assistant superintendents? And on top of that, doesn't he supposed to pay back like $31,000 or $33,000 that was misappropriated, that he used inappropriately, and that has not even been done? So why would you award him by giving him a higher salary?
Councilwoman, you're absolutely right. I would caution against diluting the resolution.
I understand, but I just...
So those are other factors. Other comments? Councilman Jackson, I'm going to support you 100% on this. I think that a salary of $289,000 is outrageous and unconscionable. Councilman?
Jessica, I don't know if you'd want to consider maybe copying the legislative district as well.
No.
Oh,
Okay. Anything else, Councilman Jackson?
That's it.
Thank you very much. See everybody tomorrow night at Sorrento's at 6 o'clock.
They don't got
Well, the staff are going to be migrating over between 4:35